Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Radisson Blu Hotel here in Edinburgh for the formal announcement of the result of the Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party leadership election. Firstly, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all three candidates and their teams for joining us this morning. I would also like to express my thanks to the board of the Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party, to the team at Scottish Conservative Central Office, and to our returning officer, Leonard Wallace, for his support. We will shortly hear the result of the leadership election and from our new leader for the first time. In 2021, Douglas Ross and the whole Scottish Conservative team maintained a record 31 seats at Holyrood. In the general election, we secured 5 of our 6 Scottish seats, despite intense national political headwinds. But despite that result, it is clear that our party has work to do to reconnect with the Scottish people. And following a bruising UK election result, there is an urgent need to re-engage, to reconnect and to restore trust with voters across Scotland. And the announcement of our new leader today is the start of that process. Now more than ever, Scotland needs a strong, forward-looking and ambitious centre-right party to tackle 2 failing governments, both the SNP and now the Labour Party. It needs a party focused on the people's real priorities. And during the leadership election, our candidates took part in hustings the length and breadth of Scotland. Meghan, Murdo and Russell engaged positively with members online, in person, and thanks to STV's Colin Mackay in the TV studios as well. It gave our leadership contenders the opportunity to set out their stalls, to outline their vision for the future of our party and the future of our country. All 3 candidates put forward a positive vision to take our party forward and to take Scotland forward. And that is a vision that we as a party collectively must unite behind as we prepare for the 2026 Holyrood election. Uniting together behind our new leader will be the essential first step in the journey towards electoral success for the Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party. And now we need to set about that task. And I would now like to welcome to the podium Leonard Wallace, the Honorary Secretary of the Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party and the returning officer for this contest. Leonard, the result, please.
As the returning officer for the Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party leadership election, I can declare the following. The total number of eligible electors was 6,941. The turnout was 60%. The total number of valid votes cast was 4,155. And that meant that the quota was 2,078. The total number of votes given to each candidate were as follows. Russell Findlay, MSP, 2,565 votes. Murdo Fraser, MSP, 1,187 votes. And Meghan Gallagher, MSP, 403 votes. It was not necessary to go on to consider second preference transfer votes, and I therefore give notice that Russell Findlay MSP is elected as leader of the Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party.
Right. Quite enough, thank you. I want to start by thanking everyone who put their faith in me and thank obviously to every single member who voted for me and every every supporter who worked so hard for my campaign. And thank you, of course, to my fellow candidates, Meghan and Murdo, who I greatly respect and value, along with the rest of my MSP colleagues. Now, everyone must come together as one united team. Let's start the hard work right now to win back public trust. And I want to deliver a message to people across Scotland who don't feel that anyone represents them, who are scunnered by the divisiveness and the fringe obsessions of the Scottish Parliament, who feel let down and failed by politicians of every single party, sometimes including ours, who think politicians are all the same. If you feel that way, I get it. But I'm not the same. I'm not a career politician. I understand your frustrations and your sense that nobody really represents the views that you share and hold. And that is going to change. Under my leadership, the Scottish Conservatives are going to change. We will work hard to earn your trust by doing things differently. We will be a voice for decent, mainstream Scotland and the values of hard work, self-reliance and value for taxpayers. We'll spend our time and energy on your concerns, your hopes and your needs. We know that you don't expect miracles from politicians. We know you want some common sense for a change, and we are determined to deliver it. So thank you all again. Thank you. And I'm happy to take questions from the media. Don't know who's going first. Or there we go. Sorry, David, BBC.
David Wallace-Walker, BBC Scotland. Russell, your party, by the looks of the general election, isn't in the best electoral position. This has been a leadership contest marked by a lot of infighting. You have been labelled the establishment candidate. How are you going to turn all of that around?
Well, so I'm looking forward to meeting this establishment once we now that I've been elected the leader. What I've said throughout the campaign, and what my colleagues have also said, is that unity is fundamental. That's the starting point. We need to get our house in order. We need to rebuild as a team. We need to start listening to our colleagues, to our members, respecting them, and talking to the public, and bringing forward a range of sensible Conservative policies rooted in our values of common sense, aspiration, ambition, and that's the job we face. And I'm under no illusions. We've got a very short time indeed until the 2026 election, and I want us to be fighting fit for that. Yep, Simon.
In the interest of unity, are you going to bring Murdo and Meghan into your inner circle, as it were, your front-bench team? And also, just in terms of your speech remarks, talking to people who just annoy you with all politicians, are you particularly addressing the sort of growing number of people who seem to be backing reform and so on?
Well, so any leader wants the very best people in the very best positions for their abilities, and that's what I will seek to do. You know, I've only just learned the result. It'd be a bit premature to start talking about individual positions and so on. In terms of reform, we are acutely conscious of their vote share in the general election, and as leader, it's our job to reconnect with those people who feel, frankly, scunnered by a lot of politicians and persuade them that what we stand for represents their interests. Lewis. Yeah, so, I mean, we will never apologise for standing up for the union. We are unionists to our core, and we should take great pride in the fact that we have successfully prevented the breakup of the United Kingdom, and the SNP are down, but they're far from out. But what we need to do is not just talk about stopping another independence referendum, not just talk about stopping the SNP in their tracks, but coming up with a range of proper Conservative policies that people understand are in their best interest. Stuff relating to education, the economy, the health service, justice, and that's the way in which we can persuade people that what we have to offer is right for them. The lady beside Lewis, whose name I don't remember, sorry. Hi, Steph. Yeah, I've already spoken about the need to understand why people, so many people, not just our supporters, but many of them, our supporters, did vote for reform in the general election. I think a lot of that was to do with a plague in all your houses sentiment. There's a lot of disgruntlement from people about politics generally. So I think our job is to show people that we're on their side. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be simple, but the starting point is uniting and then talking to the public at large. Yes, Sev. How are you doing? Thank you.
Scottish policy agenda, and also being very, very candid about her disagreements with the UK party. Are you going to follow the same model? Are you going to be casting a different approach, given who's about to become the new UK party leader?
Well, yeah, obviously we still don't know who the new UK leader is going to be. I've deliberately kept out of that particular discussion because whoever prevails at the UK level will need to work closely and respectfully with the Scottish leader. And inevitably, it's healthy that there will be disagreements. If that's done privately and respectfully, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Of course, the dynamic is somewhat different in that the Conservatives are no longer in government at UK level. So we do perhaps have that breathing space to be have more frank discussions without the sort of pressure of day-to-day governance. John.
Russell, tell me one single positive policy idea that you've got to bring back those scunnered voters to vote for you.
Well, so in the campaign I produced a series of papers relating to housing, relating to education, relating to the economy, and there's many things in there. For example, looking to get people on the housing ladder, young people in particular, who feel they'll never enjoy the dream of home ownership. And there are very specific things in that paper, such as raising the threshold for the property tax, working with lenders to potentially find ways of 0% mortgages, 100% mortgages with 0% deposit rather, for those who can demonstrate they've paid their rents in time. And rents, of course, are eye-watchingly expensive due to the SNP's housing crisis. So there's a range of policies. But going forward for a 2026 manifesto, these were just ideas. What we need to do as a team is work with colleagues who have the best knowledge in the different areas of the various portfolios to come up with a compelling manifesto for 2026. Gentleman in front of John.
One of the big aspects of the campaign was reforming inner workings of the Conservative Party, because Douglas Ross ran a tight ship and didn't let anyone else in decisions. What are you going to do for enhanced reforms, and what success do you think for in 2026?
Yeah, well, every leader has their own styles, and all I can do is, with the mandate I have today, I hope that that result is respected, and I will be seeking to work closely with colleagues and respecting colleagues and listening to colleagues and making the best use of the wide range of skills we have in our party. Paul. I think as things stand, we've got 4 candidates for the UK leadership. They're all talking about various issues, including the withdrawal potentially from the ECHR. I think it's right that they have that discussion, and going forward, I will talk with the new leader. And, well, I'm of the view that we should remain in the ECHR as things stand, but the problem with the people smuggling gangs is that nothing so far has worked to prevent that. And I think, therefore, it's quite right that now we're not in government, now we're trying to find a new leader and a new way forward. Nothing should be off the table. Michael. Sorry, Alistair.
Just firstly, we'll be addressing you as a new leader of the Tory MSP group on Tuesday. What's your specific message of unity that you'll be putting forward to them? And if I can just ask as well, it seems to be strangely traditional now to ask Tory leaders what the naughtiest thing they've ever done. It's obviously running through a field of wheat. What's your answer to that question?
I have run through a field of wheat, yeah, I have. And if you want a naughty list, we'd probably be here all day, so I'd probably best not answer that. In terms of unity, we have had a protracted process. We've had a healthy engagement with our members. We've all had the opportunity and the ability to talk about what we'd like to do. And I think, starting on Tuesday, hopefully, the MSP group can pull together behind this new leadership and realise that what we have in common is much greater, and our focus should be on our real opponents out there. Yeah, sorry. Hi there.
One of your first big tests, I guess, is this upcoming Scottish budget. So are you open to doing a deal with the SNP government? And if so, what would your price be?
Well, so it's obviously slightly premature to be talking about potential deals. Clearly, John Swinney was flirting with the Greens yesterday in respect of banning private jets or taxing them out of existence. But if we, end up in a position where we can ask for proper consideration of issues that are important to us, then I'll work with my team to ensure that we get the best possible deal for our party. Is that? Any more? No, thank you. No, thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Russell. And can I just once again thank the candidates and the teams for the huge amount of work that was put into this leadership election. Russell will be available, I think, for interviews immediately after this. So all that remains for me to say is to thank you to everybody for joining us today. And the fight back starts here. Thank you very much indeed.